will not be nearly as high up on the Eagles depth chart in 2022. Since they traded for A.J. Brown, who is a sure starter alongside Devontae Smith. The Eagles also got Zach Pascal, while returning Quez Watkins, Greg Ward, and John Hightower. So most likely, and the A.J. Brown thing I will discuss in just a second, is that Reagor, and this is where I think it also applies to the fact that Reagor has not shown to be a consistent receiver, and the fact that he's not great on special teams, and just for some reason just cannot catch the ball. And the dude's got bricks for hands, and many Eagles fans know that. I mean, and where I will say this too, and it has cost the Eagles many opportunities in the red zone over a certain amount of weeks against some teams last year. And and I know our record has been has been over 500 though, but I don't know. That's just me though. But I will take a quick commercial break, so I'll be right back. Never mind. Sorry about that. So, kind of go back to what I was saying, is that Reagor cost us a lot of opportunities in the red zone, and basically, in other words, like I said, he's a red zone killer. It really did hurt us in certain games. Sometimes against some teams in our division. I mean, like I think the Giants had a couple wide open throws by Jalen Hurts, hits him in the face mask. One, especially at MetLife Stadium. Reagor missed multiple opportunities for wide open passes, and it hits him right square through the face mask, and he can't hold it. And this is why the city of Philadelphia, we'll be on his ass. We're getting on his ass, because it's like it cost us many opportunities to score some points, and that's really it. Really, like I said, it did hurt. It hurts us. And if I'm looking at it, like, say, if I'm somewhere like a coach or the front office, and I'm seeing that as a liability, I say just cut my losses right then and there, because you have other guys willing to step up. I mean, the fact that we did trade for A.J. Brown, none of us Eagles fans would expect that how he was going to pull the trigger to trade 2 draft picks for a guy as young as A.J. Brown, has a couple 1,000-yard receiving yards under his belt. Not to mention you have Devontae Smith almost had a 1,000-yard receiving season, but that's besides the point. Plus, you have Zach Pascal, could be an easy another slot receiver. And speaking of my other half of the show, Mr. Tyler Coleman himself.
Dude, I am sorry. I literally just read your text. I didn't get it. The notification for Messenger didn't even pop up. I'm sitting there watching TikTok.
No worries. Been holding it down for the last 15 minutes. So right now we're just kind of go over, because I did say the July 26th is the start of Eagles training camp. And I actually pulled up an article, before we get into what up, normal guy? What is good? So kind of talk about, who's going to, because actually Bleacher Report actually really made a really good article. This was, what's today? This actually was put out yesterday. They have 3 Eagles players that's on the bubble who needs to be impressed to avoid being cut. The first guy I talked about was Isaac Seumalo, the left guard. So kind of thinking about it, it's like, if he doesn't really press, I mean, let's be real. I like what Landis Dickerson brought last year. I mean, even though he did, I think Dickerson was the right guard. I think he played right guard. But then again,
he was right guard.
But it just seems like Seumalo. This is the thing with Seumalo. Like, potential. It's just like they pretty much read my mind on this too. Like, the dude can't stay healthy. It's always that foot injury that kept him out last year. Even though we're not paying him a lot, I mean, we're only paying him $7.67 million in this last year of his contract. So, and even though he's still 28, like I said, guards and offensive linemen, defensive linemen don't play well as they age. I mean, we see it with who am I thinking of? Fletcher Cox, and I think that's the reason. And I feel like getting Jordan Davis, I feel like was I guess like could be his potential replacement if Cox decides to retire. We also did get Cameron Jurgens. I mean, I think Cameron Jurgens, I think he could be a very versatile guard and also could be a center because I think that's, like I said, and we all know that was Kelsey's pick. And I think what Kelsey saw is just like, I'm fine with that.
Listen, man, this is going to be a real test for Sayamalu, dude. If he can stay
Mhm.
healthy, then he's got the job. But because he's not a bad player,
He's not.
he's done well this past season at blocking defenders getting to the quarterback, which had been a real issue since 2018 because of they've always had a depleted line and defenders kept getting past them.
Yeah, and just like, and also to say, I mean, obviously the foot injury pretty much kept him out since week 3, and I feel like that's really. I think who stepped up in. I think that would have been no. Dickerson was the right guard. I'm trying to think who was the left guard that was his back. I think that might have been Opeda, and Opeda just. Oof.
It was Opeda because I remember seeing Opeda on the field.
And Opeda has been, let's be real, an below average guard in my honest opinion.
Oh my God! You had when that right side is left unblocked like that. You see Jalen Hurts running for his damn life.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have a quarterback who can run out of pressure. Because if Carson Wentz was still out there, man, let me tell you something.
Carson Wentz will be getting buried into the ground.
We would have been in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And they also did say that Selma has strong competition against Leonard Dickerson, Jack Driscoll. I thought he actually played pretty well last year. Suya Peta, not the biggest fan. And Cameron Jurgens is also part of that competition mix. So that's going to be very interesting to see what some of these guys are going to bring to training camp. Because Landon Dickerson, I know we all had our concerns because the injury history that Dickerson had, but I thought despite all that, he actually had a really good, solid rookie year last year. Now, I will say, though, man, it's just like, then again, you could also do Landon Dickerson on both left and right guard. I forgot about that because, I mean, Dickerson is also...
He's a very versatile guard, so you can put him in either position, left guard or right guard.
No, the right tackle's Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. Jurgens is another interesting thing to look at because
I feel like he's a spiritual successor to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying
Kelsey.
too. But
that was the reason why we got him, and that's why Jason Kelsey was so high on the guy because he's supposed to be a successor to Jason Kelsey when he retires, and that's coming soon.
Absolutely.
What's up? But yeah, he's going to be a spiritual successor.
Also, too, like if that's the case, he goes to be another versatile player as well, just like Leonard Dickerson. So, like, say if he can give him a break at center, he goes to stick him at right guard.
Yeah, he's a very Yeah, exactly. You can put him in multiple positions. He's a versatile guy.
And I've seen him play multiple positions on the offensive line.
He's played very well in all those positions that he's played.
Mm-hmm.
He's a versatile guard. He has the ability to play multiple positions on the field. And
is why I think when Kelsey retires, I think he should be a scout for the Eagle scouting department because if he
honestly. Everybody knows that he had a hand at getting Jurgens.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like
you could tell because and if you saw like his live stream for the draft last year, you can tell he's insightful when it comes to draft picks and
absolutely
what we need. We needed a backup center because we knew eventually that guy was going to start because Kelsey is eventually going to end his career.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you can also make the same argument that Jordan Davis could be the potential successor to Fletcher Cox on the defensive line.
That's exactly why Jordan Davis is trying to learn from Fletcher Cox. He's trying to talk to Fletcher Cox, talk his ear off, figure out what he needs to do to be successful. Because he knows eventually Fletcher Cox is going to retire too.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to step up.
Mm-hmm. And also, I've been also hearing too that Javon Hargrave is going to get a contract extension. And it's like, yeah, I think that's if you want to give a guy a contract extension,
Honestly,
I think he
Hargrave
deserves it.
deserves it because he's actually not a bad lineman.
Except for that 1 week he went a few weeks when he went quiet, but I still think he still had a productive year.
I feel like he had a bad game last year. It happens to everybody. They have a bad game, so be it. Just don't play like that the entire year. And he didn't play like that the entire year. He had that one bad game. That was it.
Yeah, I think Lee also led the team in sacks too. I think
he literally scared me last year.
Exactly. This is what, I
he shed so many blocks for sacks. It scared me. And I'm like, God damn. I wouldn't want to be the quarterback in that situation.
Oh yeah, not to mention too, we're also getting Brandon Graham back on the defensive end.
Oh my God, having Brandon Graham and Hargraves coming at you, I'd be scared. If you're the quarterback, I'd be scared.
Absolutely. Well, not to mention too, let's go Prestige Taco, and I think the second guy that's on the bubble. I think we all know who's on the bubble at this point. I think this is no surprise, and that's Jalen Reagor.
Oh my God!
Where do we want to begin?
Honestly, all you got to do, Reagor, catch the damn ball. All you got to do. Obviously, get first downs, but catch the ball, especially on deep passes.
That's what I'm saying because like I brought up the instance like
you're basically another what's his face?
Aguilar.
You're basically another Aguilar. You're gonna have what? One good year, go to Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, and then suck again after that. Like,
I brought this issue where when we played against the Giants in MetLife Stadium, he was wide open and bumps the flip on his face.
Wide ass open down the damn field, and you miss a catch.
I would shake my head like this. I was like, tell me you just didn't. I did not see that.
The man, the ball was literally in his breadbasket and went through his arms.
And I think that was one of the better passes we've seen Jalen Hurts, throw.
It was such a beautiful goddamn pass. And if he would have caught it, we were down a touchdown?
Yeah. Right there.
If he would have caught it, he probably would have been 2-5. Just saying.
Exactly. But it did say that as a rookie, he had 31 catches for 396 yards and a touchdown in 11 games. It's supposed to take a step forward last year, but we all know how that turned out. 33 receptions for 299 yards and 2 touchdowns. Even though his touchdown went up 1, but that's talk about.
And you know what pisses me off about it too? His career at TCU wasn't much fucking better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it pisses me off because we could have gotten Justin Jefferson with that shit.
But I will say, I mean, Howie has redeemed himself.
He's redeemed himself the last couple of years, trading for AJ Brown, getting Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis.
Who else?
Letting Kelsey get the backup center that we needed to get because we knew eventually Kelsey's going to call it a career.
Because we don't really have that much depth on the offensive line other than,
we don't. And it was needed. It was needed.
Mm-hmm. And this is why I said, I mean, when Kelsey's done, keep him around the organization as a scout or part of the front office, because if he can find out what the holes are, we saw this past draft, like Cameron Jurgens, the fact that he's the second round pick. Because I like what I saw, what he had at Nebraska. Now, I know Nebraska's not one of the bigger schools when it comes to football, but they have some underrated. They sometimes produce underrated talent.
Yeah, look at what Nebraska has done over the years. They've gotten some good talent in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Also, I liked what I saw with Cam Jurgens too last year at Nebraska. Love to see that.
Yeah.
Love to see what he did in the league. Absolutely. Also, I love the fact that they traded for a safety instead of getting a safety.
I will talk about that because Joey Chase brought up a really good point last week during one of his videos. And the fact that Jesse Bates has not signed his franchise tag. And we did release Craig James. So that to free up a roster spot. So I know this may sound like speculation, but I think that could be probably for Jesse. That might be Jesse Bates. I think that's where that might be heading. If let's see if Howie can pull that off, man.
If we manage to get Jesse Bates
and have Jaquiski Tart,
getting Jaquiski Tart at the other end of the field. Wow.
I think this defense is going to look great.
Dude, can I tell you something? And if Nakobe Dean does as advertised, oh my God!
And the fact that I don't know.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? If everything goes to plan,
I think we can win them.
I see maybe 3 or 4 Super Bowls.
Definitely, for sure.
I see multiple.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a young defense. They're not just plugging holes for the sake of plugging holes like they did in 2017.
No, because I think we got the right depth pieces.
Yeah, and they're building. They are building for the future.
And hey, think of it this way: the fact we took Chase Bradbury away from the goddamn New York Giants even helps too. Now we got 2 number 1 corners on the both sides of each other.
We got Darius Slay on one end, and now Bradbury on the other. I
mean, not to mention too. It's just, woo. Now, we'll say, though, I mean, it's still a young defense.
If everything goes to plan with this young defense, I already know the offense is going to be good.
Hey, what's good? Hey, what's up, Ryan?
What's up? I already know the offense is going to be good with Quez Watkins, A.J. Brown, and the one and only Devontae Smith on the other end. I know that.
Zach Pascal could be a sleeper as a slot receiver.
But here's the thing: we're already starting Quez Watkins at slot.
Wow, that's
it's not surprising. He earned it.
Oh yeah, Quez Watkins absolutely deserves it because, man, I will say, like, it's Eagles to say the now I did say with the fact that me and many Eagles fans we're not expecting to trade for AJ Brown for 2 goddamn draft picks. So,
and I get why AJ Brown was pissed off at the Titans. They traded him for nothing.
What?
Basically said, "Oh, you're worthless to us."
And not to mention the low ball when it comes to with the contract is for a guy that has multiple 1,000-yard receiving yards, and you offer him $16 million a year.
Yep.
And I think how I realized is AJ Brown's 24 and he has more than 2. Even though Tennessee is a run-first offense, which is crazy to say the least, but I do think
honestly it's not really crazy with that back they have, which Derrick Henry. I feel like he's too dynamic to not be run first. Mm-hmm. That team's too dynamic with Derrick Henry at running back, so it's not really that shocking.
But the fact that we have AJ Brown for the next 2 to 3 years, or I don't know, I forgot how long the contract extension is for $25 million a year. I sign me up for that because you really think about it. Because, like I said earlier in the show, it all comes down to Jalen Hurts. That's the biggest question mark this year.
Can he read a defense better? Can he get out of pressure and just not and actually look for an open guy instead of just running?
If the play's not there, just run it.
If a play's not there, just run. Don't just run for the sake of running to getting 5 yards, maybe if you're lucky.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, you got so many dynamic players on that team. You got 2 good wideouts, and you got a good slot receiver. Utilize that.
Should be no excuses.
Also, I feel like there's no excuses for the coach too.
Oh yeah,
because what he needs to do is what he did in the second half of last season, which helped us out. Which I'm grateful that he did make a change when we asked for him to make a change.
Now this year you have to balance that out. You can't.
You've got to call running plays
every now and again when the
situation. Every now and again during every game, call running plays.
Absolutely.
Mix it up. Run pass, run pass.
there's a couple instances where, and even hell, tag this into the USFL, like certain situations, like say first and goal, let's say at the 2, easy call, get a running play right straight up the middle, or try to jump to the outside, give it to you, or if you have a bruiser back, let him push his way through, or third and short, you can get that in there because we all know the fourth.
If you're running and if you run and they ended up getting the 2 yards. Or getting to where it's 3rd and 2, maybe 2nd and 2, and you ran a play to get to 2nd and 2, like a running play. Do a check down to your running back if he has enough power to get through defenders to get that first down.
Absolutely, and player number 3 that could be on the bubble, and that's running back Jason Huntley. He did hit.
I don't think we've seen much from Huntley last year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was mainly Boston Scott and Miles Sanders the entire time.
And they also had, because obviously the 3 running backs has already saved with their locks. That's Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, and Boston Scott.
Yeah, and we seen playing from Gainwell too. Gainwell was pretty good.
I think Gainwell could be running back number 1. I think he might be much of a bit of a more dynamic than Miles Sanders.
I feel like they trust Miles Sanders too much.
Yeah. And I love Miles Sanders.
I kind of see where that presents a problem. Because, yes, Miles Sanders can get you 5 yards easy, but he's not the most dynamic runner when it comes to running the football.
Yeah, that's and not to mention too. I mean, and I love Miles Sanders. I mean, I like the fact that he came out of Penn State, but these Penn State guys cannot, and not to mention he couldn't stay healthy, which also presented a problem.
That was a huge issue last year. Huge.
Good butterfly. Yeah, I mean the fact that that's always been his problem, and you can make the same argument with Saquon. Saquon is a great running back. Problem is couldn't stay healthy. For some reason, Penn State guys cannot stay healthy to save their goddamn lives.
I feel like Penn State guys have trouble with conditioning. I don't think they really teach conditioning too well.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
At that level in college. For Penn State, other teams they teach conditioning.
Right, man. If you don't have good conditioning, man, your ass is going to be. They're going to put your ass to work. Because I've seen I'm trying to think on the top of my head. I really can't think of much, but if you look at some of these other bigger schools like Clemson, Florida State, Ohio State, as good as they are, Michigan State, or these other big Power 5 schools that take conditioning seriously. Penn State, if you really see, perfect example, a guy, 260 pounds as a kicker is like, who in the right mind would see a kicker?
That's a problem. When your kicker at Penn State is 260 pounds. 260 pounds as a kicker. Then you have conditioning issues. That guy's going to get
he also plays like a lineman too, the way how he's built.
Yeah, but that dude, that's an issue. That is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
You're a goddamn kicker. You should not be 260 goddamn pounds.
Not to mention too, Huntley's only 24 though. Let's see. Brooks may not be attractive.
But here's the thing, Rob. If your conditioning sucks, age is just a goddamn number when it comes to sports.
That is true. That is absolutely
true. Because
you
can get hurt. You can easily get hurt if you're like 260 pounds and you're a kicker.
But even with Huntley, though, even though it's a short sample size, I think this guy has what it takes to be, a fourth running back on the depth chart. If Miles Sanders is not can't produce, or maybe 3.
I feel like he's either the second or the third.
Because
I would make a case for third because I really like Boston Scott at second. Yep.
And then you have Huntley as the third.
Yep.
Yeah, as much as I like Miles,
but here's the thing: I would also interchange that. I would have Huntley first.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
And have Miles Sanders third due to health.
That is true. I could agree with that. It's just. It's going to be like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what the 2022 season holds for the Philadelphia Eagles. The fact that, and for those who do not follow Eagles football, and take it from us, we labeled Howie Roseman as public enemy number 1, but the last couple of years, I think we realize that, he may not be as bad as people think he is. Sometimes I feel like he has to listen to the right people. And we saw that last year, this past draft class, and the prior one, getting Devontae Smith. Also, it's funny. Thank you, Dallas, to helping us out and kind of pissing off Giants fans too at the same goddamn time.
I remember that one video of a Giants fan getting so pissed. It gave me so much happiness seeing that.
And it's crazy, like as heated as the rivals between us and Dallas, who would have thought that would be possible to really trade. And look, either way, it's a win-win for both of us. We got the guy we wanted, and Dallas got the guy that we wanted, or they wanted, I should say, out of Micah Parsons. Another guy I feel like from what I saw from Michael Parsons, I think he's another one that takes conditioning really seriously.
Honestly, I hate to say it as an Eagles fan, but I really think Micah Parsons has potential to be a top 10 linebacker.
What's good, everybody? And I don't even ever heard about this. Let's see. I was reading something earlier, and a lot of Eagles fans were talking about this. That Nnamdi Asomugha was getting called overrated.
Who?
Asomugha. Somebody.
Nnamdi Asomugha overrated.
Yeah, somebody. Or what?
Let me tell you something, right? First half of his career, he wasn't overrated. Second half of his career, you can make a case. Because after his stint with Philly, he went to another team. He still fell off the face of the earth.
Oh, right. That was Asante. Ooh, even LaShawn McCoy ripped into him with Asante Samuel.
Dude, wait, what did he call Asante Samuel overrated?
No, LaShawn McCoy and Asante Samuel ripped into.
I thought LaShawn McCoy was calling Asante Samuel overrated. Holy shit.
No, I thought Asante Samuel was actually pretty underrated for the Eagles back then.
Dude, Asante Samuel was
I know his.
That man was a dog, and he still remained a dog after Philly.
I know his son takes up right after him.
Oh my God, he taught his son well. Holy shit! You see the way
this is actually funny.
You see the way his son played in the league so far.
I was like, man, are you sure that's Samuel Jr.? Because that's looks like a spit image of what we saw.
That man is his dad. That man is his dad.
Oh yeah, I think his dad did a really great job.
Oh my God, his dad taught him.
So this is basically what Asante. So this is coming from Yahoo Sports. So McCoy and Asante Samuel actually ripped into Asomugha during their first day in training camp back in 2011.
But here's the thing. You got to remember too. Nnamdi Asomugha didn't exactly fit the scheme defensively.
Because I think he was more of a zone.
He was more of a zone guy. We were playing man.
Oh, that's a problem.
That
was a huge problem.
He probably would have worked. He probably would have worked in today's defense because we run a lot of zone now.
Yeah,
as opposed to playing man. Yeah, we play man. We play man to man occasionally.
Yeah,
but we play a lot of zone coverages, which he would have worked in today's defense.
And we got some quotes here too. It's Asante goes on to say, "quote Asomugha was just a guy that was just overrated, and they gave a lot of publicity to because of whatever, just like an overall to people." And Shady goes on to say, "You remember that one practice? So Nnamdi was like a big draw. I just remember his name. I won't lie and say I don't know his name. When I was in my first year, we played the Raiders. Deshaun Jackson was becoming a superstar, which also another underrated Eagle, to say the least, in my honest opinion. Becoming a superstar, right, going up top. The whole week they were trying to find a way to get Deshaun off the jam with Nnamdi. I'm young. I'm 20. I don't know how that's supposed to work. And so let's learn how this name. So when free agency came, like, say, oh, damn, we're getting Nnamdi. So the whole team, that was the big deal. And Asante says, I already know that ain't what it is. I already know.
Asante Samuel was right. He already knew that he wasn't going to fit. He knew it. The thing is, I really don't think he's overrated in zone coverages. For sure. He's not a zone corner. He's overrated as a zone corner. I agree with that. But calling the man overrated overall,
No,
No.
I don't think it's
I
overall.
feel
I
like
think it's just.
I feel like he's overrated as a zone quarterback, but not as a man quarterback.
I think
As a
that's
man
what I think
quarterback, he
that's
was
where they're.
unstoppable. He was
I think
virtually unstoppable with the Raiders before he came to Philly.
yeah, that's where I think where Asante is making that point. Like he's
And I agree with Asante. Asante knew going into that season that he wasn't going to fit because he is not a zone cornerback.
that's crazy. That's nuts. But
Also, a guy who didn't fit in Philly, Byron Maxwell,
oh God,
because we were still playing man. He played zone.
another failed zone. Oh
Another
Jesus.
failed guy. And the
That's
thing is, here's the only problem that I have with. Here's the problem that presents itself with this corner that's coming in now, Jimmy Bradbury. Does he fit? And that's a big question for me. Does he fit our system? Because if I
that.
look up, he's a man corner, and we're playing zone, we're in trouble.
That's yeah. I mean, the fact that I don't know, man. That's really crazy.
And that's the problem that I had with Howie early on, back in 2011. You can't just sign everybody off the street like that.
So Bradbury as a zone corner.
Okay, good. So he fits our system. But back in the day, Howie didn't. He looked at things at face value. Oh, you had a successful season. Let me sign you.
But you didn't realize how bad the scheme fit was.
You didn't realize how bad the team would get because of this.
If I'm not mistaken, this was what Schwartz's first year as a defensive coordinator or second year in?
No. We had that.
What the hell's his name?
Billy something.
Oh, that's crazy.
The guy who we fired from the fucking Chick-fil-A area, he was there.
That was Eagles fans. That was not fun.
He sucked at that. He sucked at that.
So Death Grade has as how AJ Brown do? I hope he goes off, especially against Tennessee.
I feel like he's going to have a 1,000-yard season.
I think so, but I think he's going to he's going to break out against Tennessee for sure.
Oh, I have a gut feeling. Oh, he's going off Tennessee. He's going
him.
He's going to play piss the fuck off.
Oh, geez. How about think of this way? If Devontae Smith gets 60,000-yard receiver season 2 against,
dude, I'm calling it right now. Devontae Smith's getting a 1,000-yard season, and AJ Brown's getting a 1,000-yard season. Two guys. You guys. But back to what we were talking about the defense back in 2011. Howie Roseman has now learned to stop looking at things face value.
And kind of like
you got to look at what type of cornerback the guy is. Does he play better at man? Does he play better zone?
Or can he do both?
Does he play better 4-3? Does he play better 3-4? That's the real question.
That's the real question you should be thinking about.
And that's the problem that he had with that defense back in 2011. Because I feel like though we could have done better with another corner.
Well, that's right. That's what did we? Was it the last year of Andy Reid before we kicked him out of the building out in Philadelphia?
Asamoah?
No, during 2011.
No, that was the next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
So we still had David Akers.
Because people were like, "Oh, Michael Vick played well," but no, that guy. You gotta realize, Michael Vick regressed massively.
Oh yeah.
He was throwing picks after pick after pick after pick. Michael Vick regressed after 2011.
Oh, we had Sean McDermott as the defensive coordinator back in 2011.
We had Sean McDermott.
And look where he's at with the Buffalo Bills, and look how great that team is.
Motherfucker. Every damn time Philly has shit luck, they go to another team, they have better luck. What the fuck?
The only good defensive coordinator we had in our franchise history
Jim Johnson.
was Jim Johnson.
Jim Johnson.
Then he got hitting defense.
Then he fucking croaked. Shows how our luck.
Oh boy.
He croaks, and we haven't had a defensive coordinator like him since.
And we had we had Sean McDermott as our defensive coordinator. We had Roy Segrest as the defensive lines coach, but he was fired on the 16th. Then former Jim Washburn was hired to replace Segrest as the defensive line coach.
You know what? You know what I feel like? Do you know what I feel like about the Sean McDermott thing, defensive coordinator? He was a goddamn obvious scapegoat.
Yeah.
Obvious scapegoat. Because why in the world would you get a defense that did not play well together, who played different schemes at different parts of the field? You had a zone corner here, you had a man-to-man corner here, and you're playing zone. And you're telling me with Sean McDermott that was going to fucking work?
Yeah.
He was a scapegoat. He's not a bad coach. It was a scapegoat.
And obviously has probably one of the greatest, let's be real, I think probably one of the greatest Buffalo teams we've seen. Well, I mean, I know older Buffalo Bill fans will probably say, during the Jim Kelly era, which is absolutely true. They had some great players on that.
But you got to remember, I feel like this seems better because I think eventually they'll win a Super Bowl. In the Jim Kelly era, in the Jim Kelly era, they were 0-4 Super Bowl. 0-4 straight 0-4.
Like, man, that's like.
So I feel like this team is going to be better.
Because you really think so. Also, not that too. We also had our special teams quality control coach Jeff Nixon was hired by the Dolphins as the running backs coach. Our D-backs coach Dick Jaron was hired by the Browns. Oh God, as their defensive coordinator, the 21st.
And you know what pains me too about the 2011 season? We had linebackers.
Yeah,
we had fucking linebackers. We just did not have corners that fit together. If we would have just had a zone corner, we probably would have went to Super Bowl that year.
Oh, that's crazy.
Probably.
I think.
So if Vince Young just got his head out of his ass,
I think he had potential to be a good quarterback.
Oh my God, he was so good in like his rookie year and his sophomore year, and then he just fell the fuck off because he got.
Oh yeah. Because even though not just the coaching, we also made like different additions to the all season in like Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. We did talk about Asamoah Vince Young, Ronnie Brown, Evan Mathis, Steve Smith from the Giants, and Jason Babin.
Dude, Jason Babin was a dog.
He was very underrated on that.
That man was the mother of all goddamn edge rushers. Holy shit. That man got to the quarterback like that every damn play, bro.
And actually, it's crazy to really think about how far the Eagles have come along since what? No, Jesus Christ! Since 2003, or give or take. I mean, when it comes to decent season, I mean, I know, for those like we said, if you don't follow Eagles football, you have not seen the good, the bad, and it's outright ugly. Ooh, good Lord,
we've seen it all. We've seen it all. From 03 to 08, it was good, but not great. It was good, but not great.
Yeah.
We always made it to the NFC Championship and made it to one Super Bowl, and we lost every time. And then 2010, 2011, we were decent to good.
But not.
2012 was a goddamn dump.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. We won the first 3 games. Lost like the next 10, 12.
That's crazy.
Lost the next 12 and then won a game. And then we lost the next 9, I think. And then we won a game because Nick Foles came in late in the season.
Yeah, was it 2013?
Then we won our 4th game. That was the only win we had the rest of the season.
Oh, Jesus. And also, don't forget, what year we watched Jim Kelly? What, 2015?
And then the era that pissed us off.
Oh, good.
Chip Kelly era.
Yeah.
2013, he was good. 2014, he was good, but a freak injury from Foles and us hiring that bum Mark Sanchez.
Oh, geez, Mr. Butt Fumble.
killed our fucking Mr. Butt Fumble himself was
God,
illegal.
that's gonna be one of the infamous moments that the
That
Jets.
was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. Why the hell we get Mark Sanchez? I thought going he'd be good. And honestly, he didn't play bad for
But
us.
I thought it could have been better.
Honestly, he could have done better, but he wasn't bad.
Hey, it was.
But
Hey, look,
but
I will
he
say
still,
too, I mean,
but
at
he
least
still, hold on, but he still screwed us out of a goddamn playoff spot.
that is true.
But
Hey, then it can't be worse having Sam Bradford on the roster, so we'll keep it at that.
Oh my god, dude! I want to forget about that. I want to just write that off. That didn't happen. Okay,
That's correct. Whew.
that didn't happen, Rob.
Now, I will say this too.
2015 was a fucking dump.
And I did watch. I watched some California games back in the early mid 2000s. The fact that Deshaun Jackson was a second round pick by the Eagles in 2008, that was an interesting thing to say the least.
It was interesting. It was interesting, but it was great. It was a great pick. Then we traded his ass, like, motherfucker.
But now his record's now broken.
Here's the thing, Rob, that pisses me off. You know when he got traded?
Oh, jeez.
The goddamn Chip Kelly era.
Not just Deshaun Jackson, but we traded with Sean McCoy, Jeremy Maclin.
Sean McCoy, Jeremy fucking Maclin.
Who else am I forgetting?
Nick Foles.
And he was
for Sammy Sleeves, he sucked.
But for some reason, had success after the Chip Kelly era since coming back to Philadelphia.
We drafted that bum Aguilar in the Chip Kelly era. Drafted Dorrell Green Beckham, who was a huge bust.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then Chip Kelly got fired 2016.
Thank God.
The savior. I'm gonna keep calling him the savior, even though he wanted his ass fired after 2020. I still feel like he should have not been fired. Like Giuliani. Doug Peterson should have not been fired.
Yeah,
he was a scapegoat for keeping Wentz.
Yeah.
Over the Foles. That's the problem. He was a scapegoat. Honestly, Doug Peterson was our savior because that next year he went 7-9, 2016 because we didn't complete a roster. 2017.
That was Wentz's rookie year.
Yep. 2017.
That's where everything was put together.
Everything was put together like that, and no one expected it. No one expected much. Honestly, going into the season, I was expecting 10-6, bouncing first round. I did not expect
a 13-3
to go 1-1. I expected them to go 1-1. Okay, cool. I did not expect them to win 9 straight, and then go 13-3 to end the season.
I was like, man,
get the number 1 seed. I'm like, all right, they're gonna find a way to blow it.
Yeah, I mean,
they won the goddamn divisional round.
I'm trying to think. Who was that? Who was in the divisional round in 2017? Because I know the
Falcons.
Right. That's right.
And the ironic part, Rob, that was their final year in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and we spoiled their fun.
And not to mention too, we took Jay Ajayi away from them.
And we didn't take Jay Ajayi away from them. We took Jay Ajayi away from the Dolphins.
Yeah, he was with the Dolphins.
He was with the Dolphins that year. He wasn't with the Falcons.
No, wait, we played the Falcons in the divisional round.
We beat the Falcons. I said the Falcons.
I thought you said the Dolphins.
I said the Falcons.
Oh, right, before all the mediocrity that Atlanta's been known for.
They weren't even. No, here's the thing. They weren't even mediocre after that season. They were bad, like flat out bad.
But then we get to the championship game, and
we completely slaughtered the shit out of the fucking Vikings
fans. I want to talk their shit last year, or I'm sorry, 2017.
They tried to talk their shit, man.
You don't.
Guess what? We proved to you that your NFC Championship run was a goddamn fluke.
And the fact, hell, it's just like, I don't know, like it's just the Vikings haven't really had this.
They always found a way to fucking lose playoff games.
Yeah, exactly. That's the crazy part, though. Like
they ruined their chances of a Super Bowl run, which they had a great roster in '98. Looking back at it, '98 they had a great roster, and they ruined it. They somehow ruined it by a missed goddamn field goal.
Oh, jeez. You thought
Then,
you thought that was worse?
then a
Try,
decade
try,
fucking then like 2 decades fucking later, they did it again
yeah, against Seattle in the wild
against
card
Seattle of all teams in a wild card.
game. That
But
was like,
the thing is, that was the year after that we slaughtered the shit out of them.
but yeah, actually going back to 1998, we had a third round pick, 72 overall, and that was Mr. Jeremiah Trotter at linebacker out of Stephen F. Austin, was one of our better draft picks.
Fucking draft pick by the Eagles out there. But back to the 2017. We slaughtered the shit out of the goddamn Vikings here, talking their shit, desecrating all over the goddamn Rocky statue.
Yeah, I mean,
pissing us off, pissing the Eagles off, pisses us off so bad we slaughtered them 38-7.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the Super Bowl and we had a dog fight with Tom Brady and the Patriots. And this is where I thought, okay, maybe we'll lose. Didn't expect the Eagles to win this. That's how bad I knew this. This is how bad we had it. I'm thinking we're gonna lose the Super Bowl again.
I mean, we've seen it one too many times before. Like Eagles start out good.
We've seen it so many times. We were like, we're gonna lose the Super Bowl. What we didn't expect was winning the damn thing, and we went on to win the damn thing.
Or Brandon Graham strip sacking Tom Brady, like Brandon that was one of the huge. That was a turning point.
Tom Brady, but here's the thing: the final play of the game was a Hail Mary, and I kid you not, what I saw was like slow motion in a movie.
Oh yeah,
it was like slow motion in a goddamn movie. I did not know when the ball was gonna land. If anybody was gonna
I'm thinking to myself, like, please don't catch it. Please don't catch it.
Literally what I was gonna say. Please don't catch it. Please don't catch it. I'm like over here like full on trying to pray.
Like, I was like
as I'm saying, please don't catch it.
I was like literally sweating bullets. It was like, oh, so like, do we have to go?
I was like, please don't catch this ball. Please don't. And then when the ball gets dropped, I have a chicken wing in my hand. And I play the chicken wing. I was gonna go take a bite as the ball drops. I literally look at the TV.
I said, no
Stunned
way.
shock on my face. I look at my mom. I look back at the TV.
I was like, this can't be
back
real.
at my mom. She gives me a nod of approval, and then as soon as they got as soon as they got the trophy and the game was over, everybody went to bed. That's when it set in.
Like literally, like trust. Even when seeing that win, like, and me and my grandfather wanted the same. And man, I kind of burst into the tears. It's like we finally done it. Since 2003, we got our fucking revenge on them. Son of a bitch,
dude. No, it was 2004.
2004.
Yeah, it was 2004. Wow. 2004 season was when we went to Super Bowl that year, and we lost by like 3. We lost 24-21.
I did add a Vinatieri, you stupid son of a bitch.
I don't think. Was it Vinatieri that kicked the field goal?
I think Vinatieri beat us by 3.
Yeah, it was a final minute field goal.
Oh, jeez. But I will say though, man, Vinatieri was probably going to go down with the greatest kickers of all time. You can't at me otherwise.
But dude, the amount of bliss I had for the rest of that damn year.
Like, yeah.
Until the next season started and we faltered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we just completely shit the bed. And I do feel.
And I feel like we built through
the draft pretty well actually the last couple of years.
No. I'm not talking about the last couple of years. I'm talking about 2017.
Oh, 2017.
We didn't build through the draft. That was our problem. We spent so much goddamn money on talent that we were over the damn cap after the season. We had to trade half our guys.
Yeah, and that was the biggest problem.
We weren't able to run it back.
Nah, which is
we almost did that next year because we won that wild card playoff game. Which honestly, if that field goal wasn't blocked, we would have lost anyway. We almost won against the Saints, almost in the divisional round, and it still pained me. We were up 14-0,
and off the hands of Alshon Jeffrey of all people.
But they started to come back because our defense faltered late that game, and not Carson Wentz. Nick Foles wasn't playing his best.
Yeah.
And then we could have. I think we were down 28-14. No, at one point.
Yeah.
And then we were down 28-21 at that final minute. And then beautiful pass right to Alshon Jeffrey. He drops it. game's
I
over.
was like,
I'm like,
you-
oh. And the
I don't
thing is, I wasn't upset about it, and
but
and,
it's
and it pained me to see that press conference where Alshon Jeffrey was crying, saying that he let fans down.
and I feel like that's why I feel
It
like
fucking it fucking pained me to see that. I'm like, nah, man, nah. You got one drop. You balled out the rest of the game. You have one lousy drop. Who
I
cares?
feel like I feel like the Alshon Jeffrey, and the fact that we got, I think was it's just like the fact that he actually would say like I don't know, man, you got to feel for the man. I mean, the fact that the man that balled out for it, what like did what was it, how many years was in Philly, 3 years in Philly?
He played from 2017 to I think about 2020, because 2020 he was injury prone. He was hurt for most of
Yeah.
that year. That's why we traded him, because he became injury prone. He wasn't bad, but he was just injury prone.
But it's just you can't help feel for the guy that balled out. One was one of the crucial parts in the Super Bowl.
The man played in a Super Bowl with a torn rotator cuff. Played in a damn Super Bowl with an injury, and won us the damn Super Bowl. Come on, man.
Exactly. Like, you really can't say, like,
you think we're pissed off at you for one drop? We love your ass for what you did the year before.
That's crazy, Or take it this way. Let's go back to 2004. Remember, T.O. played with a broken leg. Like and he's still. That's crazy enough to see these guys, dealt with serious injuries. It's like, and they basically say fuck it, and still ball out.
Honestly, looking back at it, I feel like the T.O. and Donovan McNabb feud wasn't even his fault. It was Donovan McNabb's fault.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't T.O.'s fault. T.O. wanted to stay here. Donovan got pissed off at him for some fucking reason. And T.O. was painted as a bad guy.
And if I'm mistaken, look, and to be honest, I mean, I couldn't blame T.O. when he left. I really didn't.
No one liked T.O. I didn't even like T.O. But the thing is, looking back at it, I feel bad because it was really Donovan McNabb's fault.
Oh, yeah. I think, man, Donovan McNabb had just a huge ego to him. I didn't like
he had
that.
so much. He was an egomaniac.
And
yeah, T.O. was kind of an egomaniac too, which kind of did present an issue, kind of. And two egomaniacs butting heads like that, it wasn't going to work.
It wasn't, but never looking back at it, it's like, yeah.
We should have, honestly, looking back at it, I think we should have traded McNabb over T.O.
But, man, having T.O. at age 50 and still looking fucking ripped.
You know where he is? You know where he is right now?
He's in the fan control football.
Yeah, that fan control, and he balls the fuck out.
Myself, man, if he makes an NFL return, I would be fucking shitting a brick right now.
If he makes an NFL return, I'm gonna freaking
because it's like
he fucking shot.
I felt like he was, in my opinion, I thought he was, before Deshaun Jackson, I thought he was one of the underrated receivers we had in an Eagles uniform. I mean, it's just like we had some good, like we said. I mean, we had so many good players over the years come and go. Unfortunately, sometimes he could have been from like players like, unfortunately, Donovan McNabb, looking back at it, or financial or the obviously the cap situation, which
the cap situation of 2018, the mass firing because we got to get rid of all these players.
Yeah, we had to shed a tremendous amount of cap.
Yeah,
and
so much
after a couple of failed
and the problem is how we did not rectify the situation, like at all.
No,
he kept a guy with a bum leg at corner.
That was
Arnold Darby.
Oh God,
he had a bum leg. He was not the same. He should have traded him.
Oh yeah,
for maybe another.
Burnt my toast like every so often.
And the thing is, it wasn't his fault. He just had a bum leg.
Mm-hmm.
And we blamed him for it. He had a bum leg.
Which, in reality, we should have blamed Howie for not cutting our losses with the guy.
Lost for him, yeah. Also, we traded our linebacker core.
That set us back.
That set us back a few years, honestly.
Yeah, that really did. That was crazy looking back at it. It's like, yeah, that was not great. But I will, like we said, I mean, Howie, I think, has learned from his mistakes the last couple of years,
He learned. Okay, let me build through the draft instead of getting players with so much cap money, ridiculous cap salaries,
Absolutely.
because they're not worth the same as the Rams are or
Yeah.
a team like the Patriots are. They
And
have ridiculous cap salaries because they're in much bigger cities. They're much bigger.
because you really think about it, I mean, it kind of like final thought here before we wrap it up. Like James Bradbury actually was the fact we got him for cheap.
That's what we needed. That's what we needed to do because look at what we got at cornerback in 2017. Ridiculous cap salaries. Receiving core, ridiculous cap salaries. We paid Carson Wentz a ridiculous cap salary.
Yeah, and that bit us in the ass.
That bit us in the ass, big time.
For like 2 or 3 years, give or take.
By 2020, it officially bit us in the ass.
Oh yeah,
officially.
Good Lord.
So I feel like don't give the quarterback a ridiculous cap, and that's what I like about this year too. They didn't give Jalen Hurts a ridiculous cap salary.
No, I think they gave him like a standard rookie contract, but just barely over $1 million, $1.5 million, give or take.
Basically, a 1 year, $1 million deal,
something like that.
Something like that. We gave him a secondary rookie deal. Which what we needed. That's what we needed to do with Carson.
And also, we gave Mark TJ even with our linebacker core, we gave TJ Edwards a very cheap extension. I think about a year, $2 million, I think it was. Or I don't know exactly.
Give guys cheap extensions. Don't give them like superstar money because he have one superstar a year.
And we can kind of go back to if Javon Harkin can get a team friendly extension, hey, I'm all for that because the dude had a really good year, like we said.
And I feel like we were part of the issue too because we were scolding Howie. Pay him a high salary. Pay him a high salary. Pay him a high salary. Mean, so we're at fault too.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But yeah,
he had a good year last year. He'll come back healthy. Because we were thinking that he would be like the next Tom Brady, come back from an ACL tear.
Yeah,
and ball out the way he did. But he doesn't. He didn't. He didn't have.
He regressed.
He regressed slightly. It was a slight digression, but he digressed even more year by year.
Yeah, and we saw that. And also, you hear some reports that he was not well liked by all of his teammates. And whoo, that was.
I think over the years after 2017, and that success he had, he became an egomaniac.
Oh, jeez. I'm thinking myself, are we going to have another Donovan McNabb on our hands?
He was basically another Donovan McNabb, but he was worse.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I said earlier in the show, I mean, I know Tyler popped in late. I mean, like I said, I'm very interested to see where the Eagles are to go in 2022 to try to build off their 9-8. Which, let's be real, who would have expected the Eagles to finish above 500 under the Nick Sirianni era?
Honestly, dude, going into last season, 2-5 start was expected. 9-8 finish wasn't.
Because at the time we had no expectations.
Them running the table like they did was not expected. I'm like,
no.
Okay, they won a game in 3-5. Oh, they won another game. They're 4-5. Oh God, they're 5-5.
Like they were like running all over teams, like some historic records.
I'm like, oh God, they're on a 4-game winning streak. Oh God, they're like 8-5 right now. Oh shit.
That's what I'm thinking to myself, like, what? They're looking back and they're seeing reports like that. What Shane Steichens took over, say, nope, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up here. So for another exciting episode of the Eagles Talk podcast, I know we kind of broke down, what because like I said, I still have so low expectations. This is still a young Eagles team.
I feel like, and me saying 15-1, that was a joke. Obviously, that was satire. I didn't mean it
because I think ECG actually brought up either because I've been seeing I see maybe 11-6, 12-5.
I really see probably 11-6, most likely.
Because for me, I feel like 11-6 is our floor, and I think our ceiling at this point is 12-5.
Yeah, around those two records, that's our floor, that's our ceiling. We're not going to be a bad team.
Yeah, but other than that,
I feel like the defense is going to at the linebacker position is going to have some struggle. which is expected from rookies. They're going to learn, but I do see maybe at best 12-5, at worst 11-6, possibly 10-7.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be worse. It's just like now looking at the NFC East, I feel like three teams have gotten better, and that's us, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. Now, I will say that Giants, who knows what the hell's going on? Because let's be real. I mean, but
I think with the Giants, it rests on Daniel Jones.
Oof.
Because the team's not bad. It's Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones has not been. I don't know what they were, and honestly, no one even saw what they were seeing when they drafted him.
And I think not for mistakes too. That was the same draft class. Was Patrick Mahomes, or no? Patrick Mahomes was a year.
No, Patrick Mahomes. I think was the year after.
Part of that draft class. That quarterback draft class. Oh God,
I forgot.
I completely forgot.
I think there was a few good quarterbacks that
that could have been.
And then again, over Jones, and they got pissed over it, and rightfully so, because Daniel Jones was not ever a good quarterback. Not even in college.
Oh, geez. Yeah, his numbers were not the greatest, especially at North Carolina.
I looked at his numbers after that draft, and they were terrible.
Because Daniel Jones, on paper, as a quarterback, he can be a second or third rounder at best. When it comes to
at best, he's a second or third round. He's a backup.
Yeah, nothing but a backup.
He's a backup.
But
hell, he's a backup's backup. That's how bad he is.
That's bad enough to where you have to be a third stringer to a backup. Woo, that's not great.
Hell, honestly, I don't even see him as a backup's backup. I see him as a fucking practice squad guy.
Oof,
that's how bad he is.
And the fact they're giving him one more chance is, we'll see. Because
honestly, I'm glad they're giving him one more chance instead of like 2, 3, 4 more. And saying, "Oh, we are a franchise guy," because right now I feel like the front office is fed up. Like, look,
hey, who could blame him?
You're supposed to be a successor to Eli Manning, and you're not doing your job.
Oh God, that's been some big shoes to fill.
You got some giant ass shoes to fill. 2-time Super Bowl champion. Come on.
I will say that I will give Eli his props. I think who can make the argument that anybody can, well, other than Nick Foles, but defeat Tom Brady twice, and that was Eli. You had David Tyree, probably one of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history.
Home catch, baby.
But other than that, so this is another episode of the Eagles
all
Talk
I've got to say about the Eli Manning thing is Eli Manning owns Tom Brady.
But other than that, like I said, this is another episode of the Eagles Talk podcast with myself, Robert, and Tyler here on the Philly Sports Talk podcast. We'll see you. NFL season is going to be really looking for interesting, no matter what team you're a fan of. So we're going to wait and see who's going to improve or who's going to completely shit the bed. So we're going to wait and see how that goes. But with that being said, this is another episode 5 of the Eagles Talk podcast. We'll see you guys on the next one. See you guys.